This glorious land of liberty shall long be ours. No human name can be often and mighty be our enjoy and gladness with our hearts united. We shout the freedom of our rights united. Glorious liberty by God's command. Glorious liberty by God's command. Strong success, sure we cannot fail. With all of our rights, we will agree. We will agree. With hearts and hands, our country goes defending. We meet the foe with valor pretending. Long live our happy land, a home of glorious liberty by God's command. A home of glorious liberty by God's command. Hello to everyone. Hello to everyone. As I said earlier, we're going to start utilizing our platform here to stay away from our personal platform so we can build this platform back up. Not sure who watching, but whoever is watching, thank you for tuning in. I will continue to share the video. If you're here with me, please go ahead and share the video. Thank you for joining. I know on my personal platform, people log in there, but I'd rather use this so all of us can, because people keep asking me if I'm still live. Yes, they brought it back, but there's not a lot of people on it. So please follow and like the page. So when I'm on, you get an alert. Okay. I'm not gonna be alone tonight. Emric and Peter are supposed to be joining. But I am en route somewhere and I just came in so I can keep up with mine did with you or this evening. And again, there's those of you who tune in today on the Voice of Liberia platform, which is a new platform I'm trying out there. Thank you for coming to listen. Just trying to test it out and see how all of that fall into my schedule and how I can contribute to my country. Okay. So that said, again, there's a lot going on in our country. There's a lot going on in the United States. For those of us who live here, there's so much to be alarmed about. There's so much to be as a war survivor. If it feels like I'm not sure about you, like we are sort of kind of at war here to some degree. And it's like we really have, it's a lot going on per se. It's a lot going on. So let me say to you, if you're in here, so I'm not seeing any comment from anybody. All right, I will say thank you for tuning in. Um, I know yesterday I spoke about my my particular uh stand on what happened yesterday. Okay, but that's me. That is me. That is my particular stand. Now let's look at some information. Do we need at this point to coming back? No. If you ask me, I say no. And this may not sit well with a lot of people. And here's why I say no. First thing that Liberia need to do, the leadership, and we proffered this, or we made this recommendation to the last government when we had took over. And we made this recommendation again to this government. The first thing is the government need to balance its budget. The Liberian government must balance its budget. And you need to revisit its priorities. Where are the priorities of the nation? How do we change a nation? Okay. Ghana, when the eggs were cut off, Ghana went back. In fact, President Mahama came and said, listen, usually we tell the people to make the sacrifice. We, the leaders, are the one that will make the sacrifice. Okay. So there will be some cuts places. How is Burkina Faso surviving and thriving at this point? You know what's really cool? Let me show you what's cool. Let me find my glasses. And I'm not sure if you all read the report. And I'm going to make a recommendation to the government of Liberia. We found money to run to be on the National Security Council. We found money to buy cars for the lawmakers. We found money to give millions of dollars for legislature to have projects. The legislature does not have implementation power. That's a breach of the Constitution. This is what I wanted to post, and I'm going to post this. Okay, let me pull this up. Hopefully I can here it is. Hopefully I can share it with you. I'm not going to be here long. If Peter does not show up, I will. Okay. Hopefully you all can see this. Now, okay. And I'm going to read that. Or you can also read along. This is doing the state of the nation in Liberia. Development. Okay. We have taken decisive action to combat illicit mining, address environmental degradation, and rebuild public confidence. How true that is, I don't know. We still see people plying, people digging everywhere. Okay. Now, this is the president, I believe, to the 55th legislature. Okay. Honorable Speaker and distinguished member of the 55th legislature, I am pleased to report that we have received a mineral resource survey, okay, report from the government of the People's Republic of China. This report provides new insight in Liberia mineral resources potential and represents the most comprehensive scientific investigation conducted in over 5 decades. That would be 50 years. We extend our gratitude to the People's Republic of China for finding this important project, or funding this important project. The Ministry of Mines, Lands, and Energy, supposed to be Mines, Lands, and Energy, but say the Ministry of Mines and Energy have already analyzed data. From this survey, the result indicates a significant shift away from the country's previous sole focus on iron ore, and demands shift for iron ore. Where is the iron ore? Gold, diamonds, and gold. We have discovered, and it says all of that. I'm going to just pull it of that. Lithium, okay, nickel, zinc, uranium. That's what you use to get power, to get nuclear power, and all of these things. Okay, it's over here. Now, most of you have seen this. All right. Now, and it says the project, what was going to happen. Now, I'm going to stop here. If we have all of these, why don't we bring the best of us to the table? The best minds. I state here is the development plan. Let's start with the first 2 years. Okay, let's look at a 2 years project. How do we change the fate of our people? Where can we cut from to invest now in ourselves? Why would you pay in a country where the median income that is $7,000 a month? I mean, a year, annually. But you pay your lawmaker, who's supposed to be working for the people, hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, most of them are millionaires. Why would you do that? Why would you have a budget for the president in millions of dollars? Why would you be buying $100,000+ car for the president? Especially, and I know when I say this, some of you get mad. Hey, Brother Joe, you back? Okay. I know when I say this, most of you get mad. You see, you got to look around you and say, if Ghana was able to do it, I can do it. There goes Emmerich. Okay, Emmerich, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay. We're not going to, I know you're tired and I'm tired too. We're not going to be long tonight. I'm waiting for Peter. Peter was coming from practice.
When did you send me the link? You see me, I was waiting.
I'll send you the link ever since.
But you know, I'm getting.
Yeah, let me let you know that we are going to use the second talk, what we used to use, it was hijacked and taken and they brought it back, but nobody on it. So we got to learn to build it up back. Okay, instead of using our personal page, because we don't want people chasing all over the place. Right?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So eventually we're going to get there. Maybe 1, 2, 3 show, we'll get there. We just did that with the Voice of Liberia, and 10 and 20,000 people are coming on, so we can do it here on our own. Welcome back, bro. Thank you for it. Good seeing you. So, Emric, I wanted us, saying you're into accounting, you're into finance, to kind of divert a little bit from all of these speeches and all of that, to talk about how can we change the trajectory of our nation, what needs to be, what our priorities need to be at this point, how other people are doing it around, or how is Burkina Faso, that is a landlocked country, doing it. Instead of all running around from summit to summit to summit, like chicken with our heads, we have everything the world need. Did you see that report that Waka brought? Did you see that?
No, I didn't take a look at it.
Okay, let me
What
just put it
report?
up.
From America?
No, apparently the Chinese government did a survey.
Oh,
Okay,
you're talking about the
yes,
country on the minerals
on the
and so.
minerals.
Oh yeah, okay,
Okay,
okay. All right. No,
and
I know. Mhm.
yes, and my thing is, even the ArcelorMittal, that tells you they're not only taking iron ore in the mountains, they're taking diamonds, they're taking gold, they're taking uranium, they're taking whatever, because they're taking the whole thing.
Right.
How do we redirect and invest in our people? And I started with this conversation. First, we need to balance our budget. Where you thought?
I mean, it's true that we need to balance the budget, but before we can start off with all of this, Yesini, we
Mm-hmm.
have to have a whole assessment of the country. We have to have an assessment of what had happened in the past. We have to have an
Right.
assessment of now, and we have to have an assessment as to the way forward. Once
Right.
you have your brains are seated on the table, you see you can walk and chew gum at the same time, right?
Correct.
But it's impossible to for any government in 6 years or in 4 years or even in 12 years, right, to do everything. So you have to understand the pillars, your pillars of your foundation. That's the first thing. You look at your country, we keep talking about investment, we keep talking about foreign direct investment, all of those things. Those things are good to be talked about, to be mentioned, to be said, but it's only good for talking. But if you look at how are you able to become successful in the implementation process and all of those things, this is where a government should come in to, first of all, understand the issues of our country. Why is it that we are not attracting investors? That's one thing. Once you start to sit and put your best of brains on the table to be able to figure out these things, I'm talking about technocrats, right? Or the technical people, and so they will be able to figure out and be able to give a plan. And the plan will direct you as to how to budget, right? You cannot just start to budget every year. We just budget. When we measure, the budget is doing nothing
For
other than
them,
paying.
for them, budget are automatic.
Right, budget other than paying recurring expenses and salary, and so the budget is meaningless because it's not uplifting anybody. It's not uplifting the country. It hasn't
Right.
moved the needle. So this is how I think we need to move forward, to think anew, right? To see, okay, we have done this thing every year for more than 30, 40 years. It's done nothing. Do we still have to, or do we have to stop completely and think as to bringing something different to the table? And
Right.
I keep saying, right, the entire economy, the entire country, the ingenuity of the government, of the president, the leadership is so important. There's
Very.
nothing you can do without people with the right experience, people with the right education and experience. Nothing you can do, absolutely nothing. Look, whether we like it or not, we have to tap into our best, right? You can have the political slogans and chanting and battle cry, but when it comes to running a country, our country is run by the best of brains, the technocrats, the academician, the scientists, all of those people, you have to put them together to see what has worked in the past, right?
Right.
What hasn't worked, and see how you can be able to maybe start anew. But you
Yes.
take advice from those people, right?
Right.
The structure, we don't have the structure. We just don't have the foundation. How do we build the foundation? It should be the first thing. You can build, you can build all the roles in life. We just talk, talk, talk. Once the roles are not creating any economic value, because the road to you have to have repairs, right? Maintenance throughout. You can build roads. You see the reason why the roads, the old roads we have had, right? The reason why we did not maintain it because we did not create activities, economic activities along the
Activities.
way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So all of those things. And another thing I see, we have a country. We don't even know how, because of security. You cannot just give away your, for instance, most of your port of entries and so to a stranger. You can't do
Yep.
it because
Yep.
you don't. You want to have control over what leaves the country, right? Absolute control over what leaves the country. It's possible because we are not sophisticated. We have porous borders. People can exploit us. Now you're talking about train track or railway system that going to run, and you're giving your whole, that's breach of your security, your country's security. You can't do it. You need to have
Right.
control. Who America in America or anywhere will come and you give them your whole railway system for them to
Yep.
just have that control, level of control over their airport, your airport, and things for anybody to have control over it. No, you cannot. So you have to think about ways and means that you can partner but still have some major control over those things. If you look at our country, we've been exploited for so long. We are still being exploited in different shapes and forms, right? The
Right.
exploitation is still going on. Just the HPX, that deal with them,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it will bring a lot of exploitation along the way. You don't know, especially illicit mining. This is how they're going to use it to leave, to export out of the country, right?
Yep.
So you want to have control over it. You want to be the sole owner of that. If somebody going to partner with you, you want to have control over the security as to how you're going to mitigate the what leaves the country, how you're going to be able to mitigate exploitation. You're going to do that. We have a lot to do. You see, we can't just be all over the place. So we have to be intentional. We have to be focused. We have to know what, first of all, we need to do. You talk about investment, but you don't have the capacity for investment. So what do? This is my approach. First thing, there's no investment without the rule of law. If you look at all of our court system, the judiciary system, they're all compromised, right? So that's the first thing. You want to create independence. You don't want to have political influences in those areas. What's been happening? We have always seen political influences in those areas. We got some of the most recent examples, and so, but people justify, they have their own form of excuse just to be able to justify for the people they support. If you look at what had happened in the past, even with the weird CDC-led government, all the agencies that were responsible for checks and balance and corruption, all of those places, they were all compromised. Their independence were all compromised. Now, you're a new government with the experience, okay? You say you have the experience. The first thing to do is to create vibrant institutions. You want to have institutions that are independent of the whole political arm or political or structure of our country. That's the first thing you want to do. Right. You don't want to have any political influence in any of those agencies that are responsible, like watchdogs, and so responsible for our judiciary system or responsible for checkmating corruption and all of those things. You want to create that independence. That's the first thing you want to do. This is how, when people that want to invest, when they see that you have a good system, look, it's a no-brainer to invest, but you have to put things to perspective. Another thing, you see the security apparatus like the police force. You don't want to have political influence over the police force because you want them to be independent. You want them to be professional. You want them to be able to exercise their own professional and independent judgment. That's one thing you want. All of those things we see not happening in our country, and it's not by mistake, it's by design that we are not having, investors in our country. But we don't understand what it takes to bring investors. It's not because you say on Facebook or because you think your president can fly to over 10,000 countries. That's what's going to bring investment. No, our own actions going to bring investment into our country, going to bring investors, going to make our country attractive. But we can't be all over the place. So we have to identify first thing, right? Before you carry on anything, any implementation of just any kind, you want to see how you can put, for instance, the judiciary system to be independent. He cut back on wasteful spending in other areas, bloated salary in other areas that people just sit over. You want to streamline the whole process from one agency to the other, from one ministry to the other. You don't have to have this whole partisan or employment form of employment. You don't want to have it. It's one of the reasons why you see our productivity is just low. We have low capacity. But we think we can have results, right? With all of those things happening, it will be highly impossible. And that's the reason why you see we still struggle. Things that we have control over, that we can do in our own might to make adjustments, we can't even do it. But then we look at the bigger picture. Some of those things are things that are intentional. If you want to be able to have a budget, right, you can have a very, very effective, small and effective government. Our country, the size of our country, you don't need bloated salary. You don't need all of the recurring expenses that we have. You don't need it. But you know what? We appeal to the whole political aspect of, party politics, and people get paid for what they have done because they send slogans and songs and they jubilated and they recruited and they shout on Facebook and they insulted other people, and that's how they got jobs. We know so many people that got jobs that way. But if we have a proper system, what the foundation, the fabric of the country is kept intact, you see that a lot of these things will be done correctly. But then again, I keep saying it is by design these things are not done. It's not that people don't know what to do, but we have just refused. We have refused to do the right thing because of our own laziness, our own inherent, greed and corrupt way of behaving, way of life. That's the reason why these things are not done. Because we have not. Once we make other areas attractive, for instance, our politics, science, history, or civics, and different areas attractive, it's the work of the government to do those things. Then we say, the people, the other argument is like, what have you done? What have you done? Well, have you trusted me with anything? Have you supported me in my advocacy for anything? You haven't done it. Why do you have any expectation of me when I try to criticize the government? Because the government going to set the foundation. I will tell you this, whether you like it or not, the size of the government is bigger than anybody. It's bigger than any company. It's bigger than anyone. So if you think that one person or an individual is supposed to come and change your country, or a certain individual is supposed to change your country, it never happened anywhere. Even in a country where you have the wealthiest people in life, it does not happen.
No,
it does not happen. So we have a government that has not had an assessment to have a plan, and let it be reflected in the budget and let it be measured after implementation. We're not going to go anywhere. We'll just keep having budget and talk about budget increment. You know what it means when you talk about budget increment anywhere? It simply means that you have measured certain programs, they're working. They have uplifted your community, your people, out of abject poverty. So there's a reason to increase it because it's going to have a trickle-down effect on the country. That's the reason why you increase budget. That's the reason why you talk about you need more money, because you see results, right? But we keep talking about, increase the budget. That's all we want to hear. To make us look good to say increase the budget. But the more you increase the budget, your people become a lot poorer. So what's the essence of increasing the budget to talk about budget increment? But in
and,
essence, talking about budget increment.
so I'm not sure where your brother Peter is. Yes, what and make very good analysis. Okay, now let me ask you, talk about, foreign direct investment and all of this. And you spoke about why would somebody want to increase a budget, and the more you increase a budget, the more our people struggle. Now, the thing that I'm finding is when they increase the budget, what they are doing, they're putting the burden on the people that are already struggling. Let's say, for instance, when this government took over, the first thing that they did was they said the bike rider needed reflector jacket. They paid for it. They didn't even say we have not created a job for these kids. That's how they survive. Then it came out, they said they needed to have a fire extinguishers. I don't know how do you put a fire extinguisher on a motorbike. They purchased it. Then they came back to us, the LRA came back to us and said, in the history of Liberia, that was the most that they collected, revenue that they collected for that particular quarter. These people who say our inflation have gone down, it have gone down, who also said we raised all of this revenue, they're telling us this quarter they're between 17 to 22 million, almost 10% of this quarter, this quarter revenue that is lost. Okay, that is literally almost 20% of their budget. Okay, but we have seen us riding what? Private jets. We are seeing us purchasing cars. We are seeing $22 million to buy, to fix road, to resurface road. Now you're telling the people the gasoline price is going. In fact, gasoline prices are going up. And if gasoline price goes up, everything will go up because it will have a domino effect. Is that a true statement so far?
No, it is. Okay. Because if you look at
yes,
if you look at transportation, right?
Right.
Everything to move goods and services, it takes what? Transportation. Even for you to go and rent a service, you have to put gas in the car to be able to drive. So that's the reason why you see gasoline can have a ripple effect on the economy, because of fuel, or I would say crude oil and all of those things, right? Because even the ship to the ship, they to rely on that to be able to move goods from one place to the other. So you see just the increase in gasoline, in diesel and crude oil, and that's the reason why you see other commodities can get impacted, right? The price can go up. So, but it can be just the sole reason for the hike in price, because there are times too that other people take advantage of these loopholes and be able to exploit our people. And this is where the efficiency of the government, comes in, to be able to see how, be able to tell before time as to what the price is going to increase to, because the government should be kept in the loop as to how much, the percentage increase in crude oil, in those things. And so, and the government, that's why I keep saying this thing, you say we have people with economic background, where we have experts in Liberia, we have scholars, we call them scholars. And so it's something easy math to be able to derive at least the kind of approximated price our goods and services supposed to be around. People do these things to take advantage of it, because we have lost control of almost everything in the country. And when you're a government, you have lost control of almost everything, that you have control over nothing. Nobody's saying that you want a government that will control everything, but at the same time, too, you want some level of control. There's no government in the world will not have some level of control, no matter what system you have in place. You have to have some level of control. But we see in Liberia, the government does not have control over anything, right? Because the disintegration of our different agencies, one problem. We see that they don't communicate well with each other, right? The commerce ministry will have a different say, Justice Ministry will have a different say on one issue, right? That they should be able to coordinate on.
Right.
So it's a major problem. We see dysfunctionality in our structure. The reason why we see it because we have people that don't understand the operations, okay, of those places. We see it every day. We see that you remember quite recently we had the civil service, agency and the labor department, right? You would
Right.
think that they should have some level of integration when it comes to labor laws, when it comes to employment, when it comes to those things. Those are things that they are separate areas, but those are things that they should be integrated on. They should be able to work together. But a
Right.
complete contrast, right? The civil service, the agency saying something different. Labor department, you saw they were along with each other, right?
Right.
That's what we call a failed nation. Whether people like it, they think that it's too harsh. When you have this integration in any system, that's a failed nation. A failed nation, you can have a nation that is not even at war and still be a failed nation.
A failed nation. That is correct.
It simply means that you have a high level of this integration from one department to the other. That's a failed nation. Because you see, in this country, for instance, I always like to be practical, right? They coordinate, right? They coordinate. Even if the coordination may not favor you, we can be mad at what, but they coordinate. The ICE will coordinate with Border Patrol. They all have some level of coordination. They share information, and they have this coordination between them to be able to exercise. Okay,
Right.
even with the police department, before any group can come over, the police will be informed about it. The police will have some level of communication, and so the same thing
Right.
all over. But for us, it's different. For us, I think it's based on trying to prove a point who got the biggest ball.
Who got the bigger ball? Who got the
Who is
president
in charge?
here? Yes.
And we struggle from being integrated as a structure. And this
Right.
is one of the failures, one of the lapses of our government. And I think, to me, they should be able to work together, but because of their egos, they don't work together. And one of the failures of Liberians, of us, whether we like it or not, it is inherent in us. We don't work well together. Even in the diaspora, Liberian organizations crumble, they fail, they fall apart easily because this person disagrees. No, you can still disagree, right? And still work together. Correct. But if Liberians can learn how to work together, Cindy, we'll be the most successful people on planet Earth. But it's one of the lapses we have. We cannot work together. We have not found a way to work together. But then this is the thing about Liberians, right? But when you put them in other areas, we work together. Because you know why we work together? Because those areas are, they have people to be accountable. Once you have accountability, you are compelled to. But in Liberia, we see the leadership, they don't exert that authority where people can be accountable. So people just move around and do what they want to do anything. But you can't try that in any structural area, any functional area. So this is my point now. I will let, because Peter, welcome on board and thanks for coming. All right,
Peter and Emmerich, I will stay in the back and I will listen to you guys and I will just share. I'm gonna be driving in a moment. It's good having you guys. I'm sorry that the link got sent. I don't know what happened. So now I have to wait to come on to send a link. And we're not working, but it's the same link that how you got it. I wonder for you or to look at. We were talking about taking a survey of the whole Liberia and looking at what we have as a nation, then balance the budget, create a system that communicates with each other. That's where Emmerich said, meaning coordination. If we can come together as a nation and tap into the best minds, Liberia is able to. My question to him was, how is Burkina Faso without the help of the rest of the world? Okay. Nobody giving them rights. Nobody giving them rest. He told Russia, listen, I want transfer of knowledge. Okay, train my people. We want doctors. We want engineers. We want plumbers. We want pilots. We want soldiers or defense. That's what we want. We want to be able to build our own facility and build our own railroad, want to be able to build our own cars and our own truck. And they're assembling that right now. Okay. The students, he said, nobody will pay for school fees. Everybody will go to school. But when you leave, while in the process of building our country, you come and join the team to build. You see, then they're building the streets. Okay. Liberia is a small, Burkina Faso got 24 million people. There are 5 million of us. We just discover all of these minerals. Peter, the essence of these people coming here, it says the U.S. African Summit isn't a broad continent-wide forum. It was a focused economic summit designed to reframe U.S. engagement with Africa through an American first lens. Participating countries get access to U.S. investment and strategic deal. But in exchange, they are expected to align with U.S. position on trade, migration, and mineral. Creating one, this model risk, okay, undermining African sovereignty, reducing humanitarian support, and deepening inequality through cohesion and diplomacy. What do you think?
Well, first of all, thanks for having this conversation again, Yacendi. Very, very important conversation for our country. There are a few words in there that I want to hop on. But before I do that, I want to talk about something Emerick talked about as I was driving in.
Please do.
Emerick talked about value added and money being generated, and why make building the roads right now, even though we need roads, but it's not the best investment at this point, only because we don't have these other mechanisms in place that's going to generate money. Yes, the road's going to need maintenance, but before that, if you do the cost analysis of the road, why is that the best investment, right? Why is the yellow machines the best investment right now? No nation did it like that. Again, I keep talking about nations and other people because there's a blueprint that people follow. And the blueprint is as follows. You find a revenue generator first, pretty much a business. Whether it's a sovereign wealth fund, whether it's something that not just necessarily commodities, because that market is subject to ebbs and flows, but you find something that's going to generate money, regular money, right? And then you can engage in these projects. If you don't do that, what happens is what you're going to spend money and then run out of money and you can't do anything else. Okay. So American first lens. America is not calling these countries because they want to do us a favor. Think about that. Joseph Boycott said, we want you guys to do a survey of our land to tell us our value. That's literally you telling someone, I don't know how to count. I want you to count my money, right? Yeah. I want you to count the money for me and then tell me how much money I have. Because, and the person wants money. The person is money hungry. You say, you're my big brother, because you're my big brother, even though you don't do any favors for me, I don't get to see you. You don't claim our family, but I've been liking you for a long time because I've been liking you, even though you like money like that. Count my money, tell me how much money I have, and then after you tell me how much money I have, then we can share the money. Really, that's what Joseph Boycott said. Do a survey of our minerals for us. Yeah, and then we will do America first. So that's the first thing. That is absolutely insane that he said that. And this is the man that represents us and the brightest of our minds. That's a disrespect to the intellect of Liberians. But we elected him. We allowed this man to be elected. Number one. Number two, just a few months ago, this man had a thing called China First, right? So the Chinese came. And the Chinese have this one China policy. Not Taiwan, not nothing. One China and China first. So China is investing in America, in Liberia. How's that going to work out, buddy? You're gonna have China first and America first? Who and those two people are rivals. Who is really, really coming first now? You gotta figure that one out, Joseph Boyka. Because the Chinese are doing things in Liberia right now.
Mhm.
So are you saying that you're gonna whatever the Chinese do, you're gonna step away from that and now go to America? It seems like you're gonna betray them like you betray everyone else. Like you betray Cummings, you betray Henry Costa, you betray the people from Lo-Fi, you betray anyone who's ever worked for you. It sounds like you're about to betray the Chinese. But these people are very intelligent and they don't take betrayal lightly. As a matter of fact, in China, they're quick to kill people for betrayal.
Oh, yeah.
Quick to kill people. I'm saying that killing here will be metaphorical as far as the Chinese will show you that you don't play games with us. Okay? So you can't have an American first slant telling people to come look at your resources when the Chinese is there trying to slow play it and they've been there helping you when the USAID was pulled back. So that is already a dilemma, right? That's been created from this man's utterances towards America at this time and his posturing towards America and what role does China get to play in this? The issue here is this, Yasendi. We don't have a visionary for a president. Because if you're a visionary, your vision is informed by information that you have, right? The man doesn't have the expertise in nothing. The man was given an opportunity to say that he was educated in the United States at Kansas State University, like his bio says. If you go to Wikipedia or you go to whatever, they're going to say this man used to walk 10 miles a day. Okay, maybe that's how he got shot. His legs got cut down. 10 miles to go to school. He used to walk to go to school. And it's also going to tell you that this man went to school at Kansas State University. Kansas State University? So when you were asked where were you educated, you would have just said that. Do you understand how prestigious that would be for Kansas State University to say we got to educate a sitting president? As a matter of fact, that's what universities want to do. They want to educate the next leaders, world leaders. The reason he didn't say he went to Kansas State University on that stage because it's a lie. You didn't go to Kansas State and graduate. That's a lie. Take it off your bio. We don't have a visionary. We don't have a visionary because we don't have a person who's very informed and educated. He's not educated. He doesn't have a working, nuanced knowledge of anything that benefits the country. He's a master in saying yes, sir. He's a master, yes, sir. Yes, sir, master. He's a puppet. We picked him because he's a professional tribalist. He's a con man. Okay, so when you ask that question, Yasendi, the problem that we have right now in Liberia is the fact that we allow a person who shouldn't be leading to lead. You must first start with a visionary. Your vision comes from, this is where I think our country ought to be. This is how I think we're going to get there. You know why? Because that's how every other country did it. There's a blueprint. There's a step-by-step procedures that they followed. Okay, and that has to be you from long studying. You can't just come and say, okay, if it was easy to do that, everyone would be doing it. Okay, Liberia is stuck in where we are right now because we don't have a visionary, and we're too polite to tell them the truth. And we're saying, oh, leave the old man alone, when this old man, the choices and decisions he's making is affecting people's children. It's affecting other people's grandparents. Okay, let's talk about meritocracy. He didn't earn this job based on merit. I often ask these people, what is this man economic worldview? I ask that to say, what does this man think about money making? How's that going to come about? All the things you talk about, Yasendi, doesn't work unless you have money. Is he going to be a beggar forever? We just discovered some more natural resources.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make a bargain? How do you bargain that if you don't even know the value of it? Did he study about the minerals that could possibly be in Liberia? What's the worth? Then how to negotiate those values? Okay, we're going to spend $22 million on yellow machines. Okay, After you spending $22 million, this is a question Emmerich was asking. How is that going to bring money to the country? You're going to bring in a railroad. Isn't that going to make it easier, a multi-user railroad? Isn't that just going to be easier for people to extract our natural resources, the only lifeblood that we have, the only thing that our children have? So after you do that, after you get them to extract the natural resources, what is left of our people for our kids, the future generation? Why would anyone want to come to Liberia? What does he plan to invest in those things in that is going to be continuous? What systems is he planning on building besides saddling our keke riders and our pimpin' boys with insurance bill and some ID cards and things that they need to spend money? What is this man doing to generate money? What is his money generation strategy? Outside of telling economic imperialists to come and count our money for us and tell us how much we have. What is his plan? Okay. Are we going to have a sovereign wealth fund? Why haven't you talked about that yet? Do you even know what that is? Does it matter to you that other nations first found a way to generate money? Okay. GE, Samsung, all these companies, LG. Okay. This is how Korean Air. This is how countries were built. They were built by business-minded people. And let me land on this. Emmerich talked about technocrats. Yes, people. Even the great Russia, Japan, that have an economy that comparable to the United States economy. And these people got bombed in the 1940s. They didn't recover till 1980 where radiation still killing them. They sent the people west.
Yeah.
They sent the people to industrial country, see how they put the machines together. Even America, guys, in a small state that I am, there's this mill called Slater Mill. Quick history lesson. It's going to be real fast. England had a monopoly on textile, making clothing. They had a monopoly because they had a machine that does that. England said, if you're a mechanic or anyone who works on that machine, because we don't want the knowledge out, we want to have a monopoly on it, you're not allowed to leave England without being searched. You can't send no paper. So you're under civilians, right? We pay you well, but we don't want no one else, including America, learning how we put with the machines that we use to make clothing. Okay. This guy named Daniel Slater, left England, came to America by memory. He got with this guy named Moses Brown, and they built the first textile machine in Rhode Island. Okay, the first textile mill, then the next in Worcester, Massachusetts. Here's what I'm saying to you. The knowledge matters in money generation. Everyone that became better, research it, look it up. They left their countries and they went west. They came west and saw how industrial nations were formulated. South Korea, Singapore, they send their technocrats out. Go learn their methods and come back with it and teach us. They didn't beg for money. They didn't ask people to count their money. As a matter of fact, South Korea wanted to invest in steel. And the United States says, no, you're going to fail. Because the United States wanted to be the sole provider of steel after World War II to rebuild Europe. They wanted the only one making steel. South Korea said, we're going to do it. And they invested in steel. Before you knew it, they were building engines. They were building cars. They were doing anything that had to do with metal and steel. You take knowledge. Knowledge is what you need. Go ahead.
Thank you, Peter. Let me go to Emmerich. I'm gonna let me go there and you guys can go how you call in and I will come back. I wanted you, or let's look at where America wants. Okay. I read, I don't know if I talked to you guys about Dr. Finn article. He had done some extensive study on Liberia, not Liberia, but that particular region, West Africa, all the way down to the Sahel, which is part of West Africa, natural resources. And there have been plenty that when this man took over, if at all he took over, this was the plan. Okay. My thought process is it's like a woman who have been breastfeeding her child, and the child is no longer a baby, it's a grown child, maybe 2-3 years old, and you want to wean that child off the breast milk. Okay, you slowly withdraw and you start feeding the child. But according to him, his strategy was you cut off, because if you cut them off and cut them off guard, what happens is wherever you feed them, they're gonna take it, right?
Yeah,
So
desperation.
right. Yes, exactly. Whatever you feed them, they're going to take it. So this is where we are. Now, the very people, and my thing is though, if you are coming to talk to someone about this, you first have to know the policy of this person. Okay. I was a little agitated yesterday when I heard we support your policy or whatever you call it, their mega stuff. Okay. The whole world is saying condemning this particular policy. But you from a very small country, that your people in that particular country and around the world sent you over 800 million a year. You have 2 and 3 generation Americans in that country. But you, no other president on that platform said anything about that. They stay with the issue. All right. I'm not going to pay attention to you on this platform looking for attention. Welcome. Just follow or thank you for following or whoever best to you. That's fine. And I want that for you and Peter, but let me go to Emery first to speak on that. Where does that put us? Do we need to take a step back and say, if we make decision because we're desperate, we're going to shortchange ourselves? What do you think? What would be your advice? Let's look at, let's make some recommendation. That's what I'm looking at. Where are we as a nation? What kind of recommendation can we make? And you know what? Liberia is not desperate. If this president is honest about what they need to do, like we told Joshua before, based on the Liberians around the world, you are signing a $1.8 billion, how you call it, Liberians. If you were doing the right thing, Liberians will come together and give you $5 billion from the diaspora. I can put my neck on it. But Emery, there you go.
You see, when you're in leadership and you lack what we call discernible judgment, that's what happens. First of all, if you are going to meet with another president, apart from the agenda, because there are times that the conversation may go outside of the agenda you have. If you don't have discernible judgment to be able to understand what's going on around you, then you will make such statement about you appreciate the his policy, especially America First and those things. But the America First policy, what you are referencing that you embrace, is going to cause direct and indirect harm to you, your country, and your people. So you see the problem right there, right? Another thing, when you talk about inference, okay, inference is to have a conclusion based on reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what's happening with other countries rejecting Trump on dumping immigrants in their country, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a big issue. When first of all, without going through all of the different news outlets, and so I had to make a discernible judgment on what President Boyka was going to face. And I was clear. I said, with all of the things going on, you know why they picked those countries? Because those countries were just vulnerable countries that they would not stand up to him. And they were right. They were strategic on that. They would not have done that to Nigeria, to Ghana, because Ghana, Nigeria, those countries may not be as powerful as America, but they have almost the same might in sense of hurting you too. So they didn't pick those countries. What's happening? If you look at the whole crux of the issue, is they know that President Boyka will easily yield to. If you look at the clips of him being interviewed by Rodney, just listen to that clip. That was
me to play that it?
Yeah, but play it, and I will tell you, I was just right about it, Peter, that the whole issue was to force Boyka and the other people to receive immigrants illegally. And And because they see the level of vulnerability and desperation in those countries, let's pick them. Even if we gave them money,
Yeah.
they will accept it. So
Right.
if you listen to President Bouaka talking about, we'll go back home to evaluate and see, assess, and see if, because what's happening right now, like you said, Peter, you talk about, oh, you know, you begging someone to go and assess, they go check your own home to see whether you have cockroaches and other things and rodents and so at your home, to beg somebody to go and check there, right? How can you do that? That's your home. But then China had already gone through that whole process of having an assessment on our natural resources. China did that, the whole report, lengthy report. So
Yeah.
you're saying that, but now you see President Bouaka being acting like a con artist, right? I think he's acting oblivion to that. Like China did not do that. So you see the double standard, the double crossing, and all of those things, those games. In diplomacy, you don't play those games. Because when you play those games, it's almost like you are desperate just for money. Why? You see, right before you left for the US, you signed a deal. This whole HPX, something that had been lingering around for so long, you had to sign it only because
Yeah.
you wanted to be able to see Trump.
Yeah.
That's it. Why were you in a rush? And I see even your brother, Representative Musa Bility, talking about the president
So
has
what?
the
You're not your
right.
brother too? Eh?
No, but listen, you see
But why?
what
Peter,
the
what
thing
does
that
he have to say your brother? It's not
no,
your brother
the
too?
reason why I'm saying it, because he acts like he's the only person who ever entered a classroom. And one thing when he's talking, he talks with this conviction that no other person knows anything. What they call treaty and what they call executive. Let me tell you, the executive agreements and treaty and two, you have to understand our constitution. When he was talking, I listened to him and picked him apart. He said, you don't need the House of Representatives to be able to sign any concession deal. And so that's not a true statement, though. It's not a true statement.
Emmerich, I haven't listened to that yet, so I can speak to it.
No, but
Yes, I will.
it will table. I'm just going to a place.
All right, go ahead. Because I want to be able to come in with the conversation also. Peter too, because we haven't.
So I just I was a little bit ticked off by that. But then if you look at coming to America, and I don't want to pick on that because I think it's not the crux of the issue to be talking about whether we receive compliment from someone who these student or even Bouaka, President Bouaka. I mean, I'm serious, right? We know the academic standard of Trump. We know it. For you to think that it's a compliment to our country, I felt insulted by that. And then I felt insulted by nodding your head and saying yes, sir, or even trying to make him to feel that your English you learn it only because he was so brilliant, you were so smart. And so, no, tell him you should have. I think he should have taken, because Trump is ignorant. We have to admit that he's ignorant. So his ignorance, nobody's saying be cocky. You could have still been diplomatic in telling him, but English is our language.
Nicely and softly, yes.
And the way you will say it, but English is our language. I think if you read back and go back to history, it was a teaching moment for Bouaka to have taught Trump that valuable things come from. You know what you be doing to Trump? You'll be selling your people. You'll be selling your country. And some of these things, when we flag these things, it's not that we are against. It's not like we say we don't want Bouaka to succeed. That's not the issue. The issue is how can you catch me?
Let me come in there. Peter will come after you. Just give me a second. I will let you land.
Go on.
And Liberian people, you need to understand this. When we come over here, no matter what we bring, we always make recommendation. How other people have done it. It means we care. And I said this over and over. Emery and Peter, we were here from the inception of we are leaving. We actually pointed him, we gave him free information, and he wouldn't take it. We care for our country. Peter just been coaching for hours, and yeah, Emmerich did not go to the gym today. I'm supposed to be already 2 hours on the road. I'm waiting for this show to be over before I will start driving. I'm going to a graduation all the way out of state. Okay, it tells you we care for our country. We don't have to come and sit here, and every hour that we sit there, we know how much money we're losing. Okay, you don't know what each of us make daily. So if you put all 4 of them together, I don't know how many thousands we are losing. Okay, that some of you don't make in a month time. So when you come and ask this question, not to brag, okay, it may not be much, but it's a lot. A lot of people don't earn it in Liberia, so we care. Sorry.
So you see, just to go on, right? You see, you know the whole picture, the way it should have gone for President Boakai to have. If you wanted to impress Trump, to sell your country and sell your people, that was the moment. Right there was the moment. To make Trump, because of his ignorance, and people like those, you don't want to come off as being combative with him, right? But you have educated him the same way you were nodding your head, you could have educated him and told him, say, look, President Trump, look, English is something that is part of us. Even I will tell him that even in America, we have people, Liberians, that in places that I have never been and I would never be. For Trump to have that respect for your country and for your people. You know, I will sell my people. Let me tell you this. It will take me 30 seconds to sell my whole country and my people. I will have told Trump, I am not even better. We have had, and we still have, so many people way better in advance. Then Trump, his mindset about Africa, about Liberia, will be totally different right there. You have sold your country, you have sold yourself, you have sold your people, that you will be respected. But you know what? When you answer that way, then it's the whole patronage behavior we're talking about. You can't do it. He can't condescend you. I'm not saying be combative. So you see a whole thing with the experience we talk about. Over there is a leadership experience to have taught Trump a lesson in a way that Trump would not have known that you actually being combative or you standing your ground to say, but English is nothing to me, right? So we see a president, like we always say, who always feels that being pitiful is appealing. That's not any position or strength. That's weakness. You don't want to be a president of any country to appear like you're begging, because Boakai appeared like a beggar in front of Trump. Whether people like it or not, his English was clear, was great, was good as always, but he appeared. He did not appear as someone who's trying to look for partnership with another country to say, I have these qualities, right? How can we leverage it that you benefit and I benefit? Boakai did not do that. So let us be clear and fair about it. People will get hurt when some of us say it. The reason why we say it, because we have this professional background, we have seen how it worked. We have seen it.
Thank you, Emmerich. Let's get to Peter. Peter.
Yeah,
they are forcing, literally telling us, we will give you money. You take out the aid. You didn't require gradual release or gradual withdrawal. You snatch it out and you say, we will give you money if you guys will take nationalities from all over any third world country. We have a polarized border. Our border is not even monitored. Okay, we got drugs coming in and out of the country. We have people from all over different countries coming in and out of the country. We do not have a strong immigration system. We have 90% unemployment, which itself is the national couch. Yeah, which itself is a national risk. Okay, we have over 60% of our population living below the poverty line, less than $2.50. We have over 300,000 of our youth addicted to narcotic, bad drugs. Okay, but you are even sitting at a table to discuss when you are at your own wall. What's your thought? What should you advise me? I would say give advice, because to them, this is not conducive. What you're talking, and Peter? And you can just take it any way you want to. From what Emmerich said, you can build up a day, then dive into that. Then we'll come to Emmerich.
Yeah, so I'm being a little distracted by Logan, so I apologize. But a couple of things. You talked about there's so much to touch on. I don't even know where to start. Let's start with him saying capitulating to Trump, saying we as a people, speaking for Liberia, support mega policies.
Yeah.
Can he even tell you what mega policy is? In his mind, he's just thinking and saying, "Oh, make America great." There is so much behind that, right? So deep. Imperialism, social Darwinism.
Yeah.
Trump believes that his children, people like him, believe that their children are inherently better than our children.
Better than your children, us.
Okay. Manifest destiny. This is where it comes from. This is why they didn't feel bad for taking over people's country, right? They don't understand what the Ku Klux Klan was and what role that plays in the way things are now. He doesn't understand any of that. He just look at the surface and think that people are angry because they just want to be angry, or people are nervous because they want to be nervous. They think these aids are coming, being taken. The aid to these countries is being taken away just because they want to save money. No. Do you know what eugenics is and the purpose of eugenics? Where it came about? Do you know what happened in the 1920s in this country? Okay. Do you know what redlining is and oppression? Do you understand any of that? We picked a leader who's not informed. So what mega policy are you talking about that the Liberian people you're speaking for support? What are you saying? You're setting us up for failure. Okay. You said that Emmerich said that he's acting like he's oblivious. That Joseph Boyka is acting like he's oblivious to the fact that China already did a survey on our minerals and know what we have. You know who else knows that? The CIA.
Yep.
Donald Trump knows that.
Yeah.
Okay. He gets reports on that. When you try to con a con man, that's exactly what he wants. Trump wrote a book called The Art of the Deal. Trump believes that he's the supreme deal maker, not just deal maker. He thinks he's king con man. He can con anyone into anything. That's why he built a casino, had stakes, had an airplane, had a university. All those things failed. Okay, Trump, you can't out Trump. When you try to con him, and that's what this guy was doing, said, "Oh, we support mega policy," they see right through that. And they see a sucker coming, like, "Oh, this guy thinks he's smarter than me." Okay? They're going to take you for every penny. That's where their country is where it is, and our country is where it is right now. Okay? When you pander, that's what that is, right? You're pandering to a con man. You're pandering to a bully, someone who's dared to take advantage of you. You're pandering towards them. All right. So there is just so much to talk about. You talking about borders, and we don't have our borders, and drugs are coming in. What's even worse than drugs is our extractive industries, our gold, our diamonds, our timber, the things that's being taken out the country without the country getting the worth of it. Things is just being taken out. Okay, the things that are supposed to make us money is being taken out. This man don't care about that. He doesn't talk about that. He doesn't talk about how he's going to fix capital flight. He doesn't talk about any of those things. These are real issues that we have in Liberia that has us where we are, that have us where we are right now in the country. This is not a man that thinks about that. Emmerich was talking about how Trump needs countries to dump people he wants to deport into or to make a prison. Well, when you're desperate, you cannot say no to him now. You can't. Okay? So if he says build a prison, we're going to build it, and you got to host these people, guess what? We have to do it. And there are a lot of his people who are going to say, yeah, just a prison. Other people do it. All they do is make excuses. These are people who lack vision. They don't think deeply about nothing. They don't understand how the choices they're making is literally adversely affecting the lives of our people. And this is why we are where we are right now. I'm saying, my argument has always been, this man hasn't studied the issues enough to lead. He doesn't take questions. I promise you, I dare you. When he comes back from this meeting, he's going to say, oh, certain things we can't talk about. Oh, you only have 3 questions. When you just came back and spoke for Liberian people, you should be open to listen to any questions people might have. He's not going to do that because he's a con man. He can't answer real questions from real journalists. Okay? That's not what he does. All right. So when we look at the type of country that we have and the person who's leading, the leadership of the people we're picking and the method and the methodologists that we use to pick these people is the problem. We have brilliant Liberian people. We don't pick people in areas of expertise. We pick them because of tribal alliance, because of political, oh, that's my grandma party, that's my political party, not because of policies. Okay, so we're not practicing real democracy. And us not practicing real democracy is really, really, really bad for us. Because when we don't do that, it affects our future and our children. And I'm not going to move off of that. Okay, people are talking about how, oh, he says, sir, what's the bad thing? Whenever you say him saying yes, sir, to that man was not a bad thing, it tells me that either A, you're excuse maker and you shouldn't be talking publicly about where our country ought to be, or B, you just lack the information to do that. Okay, what he did and how he spoke in an inferior way. Here's the excuse they're making, Yasendi. They say, oh, you want him to be confrontational? No. Us in academia, we talk about teachable moments. You don't have to yell at someone, disrespect someone to get a point across. Mm-hmm. And yes, you would have shown strength if you said, Mr. President, I'm sure you know that Liberia is an English-speaking country. As a matter of fact, I want to take this opportunity to tell the world some of the things that Liberia have in common with America. Our first few presidents, the flag, we call it Lone Star State for a reason. Who built the country? The fact that we fought in every major war with America. We support America. Yes. We want you guys to know these things. We want the world to know how friendly we are to America. When you tell me, it just tells me that you have very, very low level of vision. When you say, oh, you want him to confront, as if those are the only 2 choices that we had. Those are not the only 2 choices. If he was a statesman, if he was a sophisticated statesman, he would have taken the opportunity and ran with it. He didn't. He took the opportunity and he pandered. And he made himself look small and subsequently made our country look desperate, small, and very, very glebe, surface country. And this is sad, okay? He did not represent us well. There is so much that he should be doing, especially when it comes to vision and how you built a nation. He's not following any plan on how to build a nation. He cannot answer any economic questions. He cannot answer any social political questions. He cannot tell you the importance of STEM schools. He cannot tell you why it's important for him to build roads before he create a sovereign wealth fund. He cannot tell you any of those. He cannot tell you how we're gonna build an army of teachers and doctors. He can't tell you all that. The only thing he can tell you is how he's going to spend money, and he's a panderer. That's what con men do.
Okay, Emmerich, are you there so we can close? All right, Emmerich, I'm going to come to you.
No, I'm right here.
Okay,
I'm
go
right
ahead.
here.
Okay,
you know, it's not easy to follow Peter, though. Peter is one of the brightest minds I've ever come across.
Somebody agree. You are so right, my brother. Yes. Yeah, no, that's my little brother. He's smart. I'm dealing with all that.
Yeah,
I was saying on the the Voice of Liberia. I say I love smart men. So if you're not smart, you come over here, I will eat you raw. Yeah, I will draw back if you're smart because I know you can lead. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Peter said we have talked enough, and you simply will have to respect your time. So I'm going to say thank you for this show.
No. When you go ahead, y'all got to stay about 10-15 minutes. You can talk. I'm good.
All right. Okay. That's good. So you see what's happening to our country, right? People think that we are bitter. People think that, but what we want, the expectation of us is different from your expectation. That's just the difference we have. So it does not paint us or even if you say I'm bitter, I don't feel bad for having an expectation that you don't have, because I know my worth, I know myself. So it's not a bad thing to think highly of my country, right? To move our country forward, we have to think of our worth. If we have been worthless for more than 175 years, and you have people that can come and think highly because they understand what they're doing, it's commendable. So the issue of Liberia is not tick for tat. It's not because you support a person, so that does not give another person the right to criticize that person. But listening to each other, listening to suggestions, listening to the different arguments, listening to the ideas. That's how we can move. Any country can move forward. What's the essence of education? What's the essence of civilization? You have to think about those things. You have to think about, if you want your country to move forward, you have to listen to other people that have dissensions, people that have dissenting views, people that have something different. Do you know what diversity brings in any area, any job, or any professional area? And so when you have players, Peter, that they all cannot play the same, it's a gift for you as a coach. If you have players that they all can think the same, it's a gift for you as a coach. But you as a coach, you're going to see how you can leverage the different styles, the different concepts, the different ideologies, the different speeds, the different power, the different strengths. Those are things that in leadership, you will know how to place those people. You will know the weaknesses of your team. You will know the strengths of each and every one, and you will know how to position people for you to have the success that you want to have. Our problem in Liberia always been leadership, failed leadership. We have never, ever. We have never, ever. And people say, oh, you think y'all can do it better. We're not saying we can do it better. That's not what we're saying. The argument there, if you think that your choice is better, right? Then there's no reason for us to be on this platform and critiquing, because there will be nothing much to critique. When we have just something little to critique, I don't think I want to look at a bitter person to come on here, because there's nowhere you have 100% in anything we do. So if we have a leadership that performing at an efficiency rate of 95%, 98%, or 97%. No, I'm saying there's no need for me to be on any platform, because I think we're doing great. Even 80%, I think we're doing great.
Right.
But if we have people that can see that we can push it to 90%, I will still be a part of that group to think that we can do better.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit and anybody going to pin me as a bitter person, because in my personal life, in my professional life, I'm now a bitter person. It's just that I'm a critical person. It's just that my mindset is different. So we all have different mindsets. When we come on these different platforms, or you see us write, we write from a position of thinking that our country can do a lot better than what it is. If you think we cannot do a lot better than what it is, then the country won't be suffering from unemployment, high rate of unemployment. Then the country will be prosperous. But it is not. So what's your argument? You don't have an argument, because we are in a deplorable state. If we were in a deplorable state, the country is prosperous, and we are being bitter, then you call us bitter. For real, we are bitter people. But it's sad that we see the retrogression of the country. But then you say you can't talk. You can't say anything because it will happen. How long have our people not waited for it to happen? It never did. So at least you should be grateful that you have conscious-minded people to sit and bring up these issues to talk about the way forward.
Right.
That's bitter people don't do that. If I was bitter, I will tell you, bitter people usually they mind their business and just stay away. And it's just about themselves. They're so bad, they don't carry on remittance. They don't even send money back. When they don't interact with anybody. That's what bitter people do.
Correct.
When people bitter, They don't advocate for anything. They be mad. They're self-centered. Bitter people, most bitter people, they are self-centered. They just for themselves. Or when you come and ask for help, and so they don't do it. But some of us, what we do is because of love for Liberia. That's the reason why we do these things. So what we need from some of you out there, we may differ. We may disagree. We may not support the same ideologies and same candidates and same people and same aspirations and so. But what we need to do to speak to each other, what we need to do to talk and sit and see who has the best ideas that can move our country forward. Those are things that we need to do. Those are things that in our control that we can do. But you don't listen to a person you just see because they wrote something about, President Boyka, you get angry and say, oh, you're bitter, you're bitter, you're bitter.
Yeah, they come under your post and start cursing you.
So, I don't pay attention. The reason why you see people keep saying the educated people are feeling Liberia is true, though. Because the people that can read and write, they're not saying some of those things. They attack mainly from people that can read and write. And I saw one post, I would not call the name, trying to justify the yes, sir is different from sir. The reason why people in diplomacy and other things, people say sir, because they don't want to screw up your name if they don't know how to pronounce it. It's simple. So they'll call you sir, but it's mutual, right? You call me sir, I call you sir. In most cases, people play it safe. If I don't know how to pronounce Yusindi's name, I'll call her ma'am or madame or something.
But the thing is, a lot of people have to understand also in America, there are two ways that we can say sir. If I'm in a place where Peter is talking to me, I don't like what he said, I would say sir. But I would say, I would be assertive when I say it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's different. Mm-hmm. Sir is different from saying yes, sir.
Yes.
You see, there's a difference in saying sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sir is more formal in any formal area.
Yes.
Madame is madame or ma'am or so, but you can't say yes, sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir is almost like you answering to your boss.
Your boss, yes.
Yes, it's clear. If you look at the picture, I posted the picture. People think, no, this is me, right? I saw the pictures. I saw it ever since. To see, Peter, anywhere, if you come to visit me, you'll see pictures of me and my family. The picture will tell you who's the father in the home. If you ever have grown-up children that you may not recognize, it will tell you who the father in the home. It will tell you who the boss in the office, just from pictures. People don't understand pictures. To see the African leaders was standing in them. If you look at Biden did not want to do that.
But with that in the office is protocol. That and Trump that Obama would not have done that. Biden would not have done that.
You know why? Why they would not have done that? Because when they meet other African leaders, even though they are president or the president for America, powerful country,
that's his house.
Yes, diplomacy will tell you that I want to make them feel comfortable. This is my home, so I will let them either find seat to sit or I will stand with them. Okay. But when you take a picture like this, the posture alone, to take a picture like this and fold your arms like this, while people around you, that's a different. If you go, people, they got careers. People, I don't want to go into that. But I'm just saying, just the picture alone. The picture alone will see the little kids around their grand uncle or their father.
It's that particular one is protocol. That's his house. So it's
no. But you see the protocol, not protocol. When people come to visit you, my point there, you give them seat. When people come to your home, you see no, that's not protocol. When people come to visit you, people come to your home, you give them seat.
In the overall office, it is the protocol. So other I know other presidents have visited and have not done that, but that's the protocol. Can we play this video really quickly before before Peter come in? Can we play this video of Joseph Boyka really quickly, please? So you can hear it. Yes. So I
want you to show me other protocols where other presidents allow other people to stand up around them like that. I just want you to show me because what we used to.
All right, let's play this.
I really hate hearing this guy's voice.
What the Americans are saying that they have asylum seekers that have been here for years, and they like to, those that have been causing problems, to send them out of the country elsewhere. They are not forcing anybody, but they want for us to know that this is a concern they have, and they are asking how can we contribute or how can we help. And we have assured them that for the relationship is an equal concern, but it's something that we have to think about. If and when they begin to ask us, we will know how to respond to it. I didn't get the impression that the Americans were putting gun at anybody's head to sign anything. What the Americans are saying that they have asylum seekers that have been here for years.
Demeanor, though, why is he looking down? Peter, why is he looking down?
I keep saying it. You can't.
Because
you can't do
he's
that.
a slave brain. I don't.
Yeah, no, because of dishonesty. When you're not honest with yourself, that's what happens. You will look down.
You guys are just bad. Okay.
No, I care about my family. I care about my children, and this is what I want to say, guys. I don't like hearing Joseph Boykott's voice. Just as I would not like to hear any con man who's hurting children. I don't care if he's Chinese. I despise that man. I think he's not a good person. He could be someone's grandfather and he's molesting the children. I would feel the same way. I feel like everything he does is to cover up for his inadequacies. And this is what he does. And we sit there and allow it to happen. And no one wants to speak truth to power. Not enough. I mean, some people do, but a lot of people are trying to be way too polite about it. Guys, we're a very proudful country. Proud people. Liberia is supposed to be the representative of the Black excellence. You guys need to understand what that means. There are two dichotomies here. A social Darwinistic mindset that said a Black man cannot govern himself.
Yep.
He needs the white man to.
Yep.
I'm a history teacher, so I'm telling you guys, this is written down in documents.
Yep.
He cannot govern himself. Liberia was supposed to be an experiment. So, you guys think you can do it? Go ahead. Yep. Look at our country. Look at the person we picked in 2025 who's the president now.
Yep.
We are literally telling the white supremacists or those people who say, I told you so, you're right. You guys were right. Look what we got. We got beggars. We got guys saying come and survey our resources, our natural resources, when he already did it with China. China already did it. We got a con man. The people see right through that. I don't blame them. I blame us. We picked him. We're powerful people. Guys, listen to the conversation we just had. We are playing semantics with the term sir. These people are deflecting, they're redirecting, okay, they're shifting the focus. We shouldn't be spending 1 second talking about that. But we are because we're intellectual people. And so we're like, no, you're wrong, and this is why you're wrong. We're missing the point. Okay, they're doing what's called in psychology, it's called fact stacking. In law, it's called fact stacking. That means if I don't have an answer to what Emmerich said or someone says, I just give a bunch of facts. And it was raining out that day, and their car came, and the car was green. That has nothing to do with the fact that you not steal from this person's car. But you just give a bunch of facts to distract people. And that's what we're doing. Oh, we're playing semantics. The word sir. He says sir. He says sir. No. When you say yes, sir, you are a slave. You sound like a slave. You sound like a subordinate. You're not projecting leadership. And with that, there's nothing wrong with you not projecting leadership, but you're representing our children in our country. And people take advantage of us because you have that posture. It's like you being afraid of a dog, and the dog bites. If the dog senses that you're scared, guess what it's going to do? It's going to attack you. It's going to attack you. So I'm saying the things that he does will affect our children. That's my problem with him saying yes, sir. It's not that he say yes, sir. I've always known he's a nothing. He's vacuous. He's empty. He's always been empty. He has never demonstrated leadership. He's never demonstrated excellence ever. And that's why I don't even like calling him Mr. President. I wouldn't pick him to be a president. The people I know wouldn't pick him to lead us. Even in my boys' group, he would not be a leader. We would not pick him to say what bar we're going to go to. And those are just facts. He's not it. He's not a leader. Okay? Everybody went west. China, big old China, sent their people west to go learn. Because that's where information is. Guys, I mentioned this because Liberia don't even have to do that. We have experts in every field who are already west, that those countries already educated. We need humility, and we need to tap into those people. We have doctors, brilliant teachers, brilliant lawyers, brilliant architects,
engineers,
selfish people blocking those people out. This is why it has so much of a problem when he called Cummings a stranger. So now you destroy Cummings and you have an empty hand. The person who could have come and actually fix things, you destroy them and you have nothing to offer and you still want to keep on the pretense.
Peter,
I'm over it. Over it.
Peter,
okay?
You know, this whole topic, I didn't want to bring it up, but now you're saying it, right? I'm just going to touch on a little bit. So this whole topic, right? If you look at the World Bank released their assessment of Liberia with the country policy and institutional assessment. They call it a CPIA assessment. The CPIA 2024. Let me tell you this. Boycott's government, I don't care. They can play propaganda. I will send a report to you guys. It's bad. It's bad. It's really, really bad. So I didn't want to get into it because it's a whole different topic. And I'm surprised that his scholars, they didn't pay attention to the report. If the report had been other people, other leadership, and other maybe political party, they would have talked about it.
They pay attention to it. That's why they're
no, I'm just saying the deception.
That's why they're bringing in and bringing all kind of stuff. That's why they're doing what they're doing.
So we'll have a whole show for this.
Yes,
I will send a report for us to read. Because if you look at the economic management, Liberia score way below West and Central Africa. You know about Central Africa. Central Africa, some of the poorest places you can find. Central African Republic and those places all around Central Africa. Liberia, way below them. The same thing with monetary exchange rate policy. Liberia is 3.5, way below. Liberia, the total average for Liberia is 3.1. 3.1 is way, way, way below. And we see these reports. They're not talking anything. But we're going to have a whole show about this report. I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go in depth with this report. This report is embarrassing. All of the talk all on Facebook and all around. I see some of them, they wake up every morning when they go into work. Even the ones now, they talk about we are taking pictures and taking videos. But the more than video taking and taking pictures and posting it on their personal pages, the more than that. The more than that. If you see this report is damning. It's a bad report for the government, for the country. The overall score for Liberia is 3.1. 3.1 is bad for our country. And I will share this report. I've been keeping this report, and I wanted to talk about it, but I said we'll find time. I want you guys to read it because it's exhaustive. I want you guys to read it before we can get on it. On the whole picture of Liberia.
So let me land on what I was saying, right?
Yeah. Okay, finish up so I can. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So just to piggyback off what Emmerich is saying, here's what I want to land on. Okay. That report and the Human Development Index report. Human Development Index is just saying what's the likelihood of a kid being born in this country being successful between the age of 0 to 18 years old. Right,
Mm-hmm.
Liberia is ranked in the bottom 4 countries of the world. Right, those are things that we need to talk about. Those are things that, if he's a real leader, he'll be talking to. What does he talk to besides spending money? Okay, and Emmerich, I do think we can do things better, way better. It's not a secret. I'm not gonna try to kowtow to him. I'm not gonna be polite about it. Yes, I think the people we believe should be leading would do things way better, way better, because he knows nothing. Okay. The problem is, and here's where I want to close, Yacindy. The problem is, how do we pick leaders? We need to examine how we picking these leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Yacindy, there is no country that's picking leaders because that leader built a school.
A school or this
Because that leader built give them a hand pump.
Yeah.
Because a leader did some philanthropic work for them.
Mm-hmm.
Philanthropy is not an attribute you look at to pick a leader.
To pick a leader, yeah. Just goodwill.
You look for competence and you look for past work, past performance, right? And you ask real questions. We are literally looking to see, oh, the man brought ambulance. If we don't stop that mentality, we're gonna keep getting the same people. And guys, these are people who are feeding people. They're doing a JT thing. They're feeding people. They're giving them jobs. They're going to fight for the lifeblood of those people to stay there. They're going to cuss you out. They're going to give those people calling cards to get on these shows and cuss you out. I keep saying this. I'm saying we need to be ready to fight these people, or else nothing's going to change. We cannot pick leaders because they're giving handouts. No country can escape poverty picking leaders that way. We just need to look at how we're picking leaders and why we're picking the people that we chose to lead. Thank you so much, Yacindy, for the show tonight.
Thank you so much, Peter. Emmerich, what's your last words? Let's go.
No, I can't. I'm good. I think. Thank you for being on. Thank you for the time, and to our listening audience, too. Thank you for being a part of this. We want you to contribute. Next time, maybe we'll have the phone lines for you to call in.
Correct.
Because we want you to be interactive. All right. So thanks to everyone.
So let me show you all what BBC had on their page concerning Liberia. I would just want you to see the pictures. This is BBC today. This is what during the White House meeting, President Donald Trump praised Liberian President Joseph Boakai English, asking where he went to school. Boakai smiled politely. English is Liberia's official language. From history to language, okay, here are key factors that connect the U.S. and Liberia. They put there, you see right there with the man with the chin on the leg, you see the flag, you see the American flag and the U.S. flag. Yes, Liberia's first president. I just want you to do it. Yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. But we will end with this. I'm not sure who calling my name. I'm not interested. Okay. Never, that's your. I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and I will end with that. Emmerich and Peter, thank you so much for your contribution to Liberia. Let's continue on this and continue to educate. I know I wrote today and I said there are people who are willfully stubborn, and we call it stupidity. You can light an ignorant person because you can enlighten them, you can educate them, but somebody who is willfully ignorant, okay, you can't. So I'm gonna play this, the Lone Star Forever, and I'm gonna go with that. Yep, there we go.
When freedom raised her glowing form on Mount.
Again, we have no copyright to this music, just so everybody know. Okay, we have no copyright to this music. Yeah, so I'll continue.
Sorrow's verdant height, she sat within a doom of a night, met lowering stars and thunderstorms, the star of liberty, unceasing from the waking war, its banner shield of golden flame, she lifted it in her pride. and raised our people long